One thing I've noticed on YouTube is that there aren't very many critical reviews on the 2240. I do I do enjoy shooting this, but there are some things that, I wish were better. And I have actually written down all the things that I think need to be addressed. And I'm going to go over them and give you my experiences with what I've seen with the 2240. So the first thing I want to go over is that it's in stock form. This is about the 2240 in the stock form. I will talk about mods that I've done and things I've come across that makes this shooter better in my opinion. But in stock form, it is a CO2 hog. So you have one of these, Crosman powerlets, and one of these will give you about 40 shots, which is okay, but it's really not that great. So you'll notice that when you shoot the stock 2240, a lot of the gas escapes from the muzzle. So mine has the TKO muzzle brake, but just talking about the stock 2240, it's very wasteful in CO2 actually. So I'm sure Crossman has a reason for that. Maybe they get more money, but that can be fixed with the mod. And I will post a link or an annotation so that you can go ahead and check that out if you're interested. But I will move on to the next thing here. So the next thing I have is the quality control of the 2240. And I do keep in mind that this is, it's a $60 gun, which is very, very, it's a good price for what you get. But there are definitely things that, could be done to make it a little bit nicer, like the plastic rear sight. You basically just unscrew it, then you slide it up and down to whether you want the peep or where you want to raise the elevation in the rear. And the same thing's on the top. You just loosen that screw and you just slide it around. It's very, very rudimentary. The tip of my muzzle is a little bit marred. It kind of has a few little red spots on it too. Can't see it with this muzzle brake on, but it's there. The grips. Now I'm going to be going into two different things here and talk about the quality control and the grips. When installed, these plastic grips, they jiggle around a lot on the frame. And I have to really crank them down to get them to stop jiggling, but you can't crank these down too much because they're made out of plastic. And so I don't know, it's just weird balance of trying to get it in the right spot but not breaking it. And I just wanted to point that out. The next thing I have are the cost of mods. So one thing that makes this gun so much fun is that there's a bunch of parts that you can get for it. Like you can get, for example, I have this stock that I purchased. I got it from Amazon. I think it was $25. And this is in 2015. So I got this stock. It's really good stock. However, considering that it's almost half the price of the gun, maybe not so nice. There's also a whole bunch of other mods that you can get, but it really racks up. And so, like the steel breech, I believe is probably $35, and then you get the sight, the rear sight for that breech, which is another $35, and just, I don't know, I really believe that that's where Crossman's really making their money on this. But it's just something to keep in mind. This is a critical review, and that's not necessarily a part of the stock 2240, but I think a lot of people do purchase this air pistol so that they can modify it and enjoy it in that way. So it's something to keep in mind. Another thing I want to talk about is the trigger. It's kind of lousy. In stock form, the trigger needs work. Like if you want to enjoy shooting this 2240. There's a lot of videos out there that tell you how to fix it and everything, but basically it just doesn't feel very good. It feels very, I don't know what's the word, maybe gritty. There's a lot of feel in the trigger, like you can feel it doing, like it's got a lot of resistance when you make that pull. So that's not very enjoyable. And one other thing I wanted to go over is that, man, the 2240 is loud. It is really loud. Like when I first shot this pistol, I was almost frightening how loud this was. I'm trying to put it into, a subjective way of describing it and an objective way. The subjective way is, man, I do not want to be in this room when this gun's being shot. It's really freaking loud. I think I've seen some videos online where this is above 100 decibels, and I'm trying to compare it to something, but this is definitely the loudest air pistol, or air gun, in fact, that I've ever shot. And it's just crazy how loud it is. And for some people, they might like that, but, living in a society where there's people around us, it's not a really good thing, I think. I'm just teasing. But yeah, it's loud, and so you need to be aware of that. But that being said, I actually wanted to go into some of the points that I have, which are actually pretty good. Some things that I enjoyed about the 2240, if you're considering purchasing this. I'll go over them very quick, because I'm sure you kind of understand what's going on. I do like the fact that it's a CO2 powered. It's, there's no pumping involved. You basically just cock it, throw a pellet in, close it up, and you shoot. And that's nice. It's really nice. So if you just enjoy shooting, that's something you definitely want to think about. I also have to say it is accurate. This is a pretty accurate pistol. I will go ahead and roll some footage on just how much accuracy I can get out of this. This is the accuracy I've attained through no stock. I just purchased this stock not too long ago, and I'm still kind of getting used to it, which it's a nice stock. It does make the gun more accurate too, because you have, you can wedge it into your arm and make it much more stable. So I will go ahead and post the shots that I had without the stock. So it's just a normal 2240. But it's pretty good. For 10 meters I get almost, I want to say it's just under 3/4 of an inch groups, 5 shots. And that's with the Crosmere Premiers. I go with the domed. The hollow points are just a little bit worse in my opinion, in terms of consistent accuracy. And I just got these Daisy wad cutters, and they're actually pretty good. So keep those in mind. Also, one thing is the low cost to operate. If you just keep your mind on the prices of the ammo that you're purchasing, and you don't buy like gold-plated, lead, whatever pellets that you might get, I think that this is a pretty affordable shooter. And if you do a few mods to make the CO2 usage a little bit more efficient, then it can be even better per shot. And I can go into those things too in another video maybe. And I just talk about the Crosman Premier domed. Basically just saying that, it's pretty easy to get a good pellet that fits in this pistol. Crosman Premiers are very, very readily available, and they shoot really well. They don't get hung up on this part on top of the pistol right there, that little screw. It's probably not going to focus, but yeah, that part, how it goes down a little bit, it gets caught up in the wad cutter style pellets, and it just hangs there, or like dents it when you pull the bolt forward, and it's just a pain in the butt. So the Crosman Premier domed ones they just slide right in because of the shape of the pellet. So thanks for watching my video. This is about the 2240. It is a more critical review, talking about the negatives about this pistol, but I hope whatever review you find you get an idea of what this is all about, and I hope it works out for you. Thank you guys.